Hello crafty friends, it's Courtney Brickner, the CV behind the Crafty Brick. Welcome back to 31 Days of Crafting to celebrate National Crafting Month. It is day 16 and we have been crafting for the last 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. Every single day I've been posting a different project. It's been really fun. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a stove cover, a wooden stove cover to put on your stove. I just think they're really cute. I know they're not necessary, but I don't like the way the top of my stove looks. It's electric and I don't like it. So I thought I could make this and put it over the top of the stove. So I'm gonna walk you through how I did it and what I did that you shouldn't do, the mistake I made. I'll share that with you as well. How you can get this so that it's looking really good if you've been wanting to make one of these. So let's go to Home Depot. I'll show you the wood that I got and let's create this stove cover. So to make this project, I am using a 1x4, which is a little odd because it's really 3.5 inches wide. So I already had this at home, but if you're going to be making it, you would need one piece of this and then a 1x6, 6-foot board. This is also not quite accurate. It's 5.5 inches wide. So I don't know why they call it 1x6, but here's what you do. You take it home, you cut it, realize that actually this is not going to fit on your miter saw, so you've got to go with plan B because it's 5.5 inches wide. That's not wide enough. I was like, is it going to work? No, it's not going to work. So I decided to use my jigsaw. All right, I got a little funny side story for you. I went to go get the wood, went to Home Depot, decided, you know what, I'm just going to get this cut here because that'd be easier. I don't even have to cut it when I get home. Don't have to take my saw out. So I'm like, hey, can you please cut this wood for me? He said, yes. What size do you need? I'm like, okay, I need 20 inches. I needed 4 cuts with 20 inches. And he's like, oh, okay, perfect. So he's getting ready to cut. He's got his saw ready to go. I'm like, no, wait. I'm sorry. I was wrong about the measurement. Can you please cut 4 cuts of 21 inches? And he's like, oh, okay. Pulls it out, recuts. We're good to go. I come home. I set it on my stove. Why did I need 29 inches? Why did I go thinking I was going to remember the size in my head? I didn't even write it down. I think I forget how old I am sometimes, and I was not thinking properly. I got 4 cuts of the wrong size, so I had to go back to Home Depot. This time I got the wood, brought it home, and was like, I'm going to cut this myself so that I can make sure that I measure again and that I get the cut right. So here I am cutting it on my own, and I am going to get the right size this time. I don't know. What am I going to do? Get my life together somehow. Once I got all the pieces cut, I sanded all the edges and the ends just to make sure I was working from a smooth surface. Then I lined all the pieces up. The bottom was all 29 and the sides were 22 inches each. I got a little wood glue for the sides, put that on just to put them into place so that they wouldn't shift while I was nailing them in. And then I took my nail gun and took 2 nails and put it in each board along the side. This next step, you can decide if you want to do paint, leave it this natural color and just put a little poly on, or if you want to add stain. So I decided I wanted to do stain. So I stained the sides first and then moved on to the top. You can apply however much you want, and if you want to let it dry for a little bit and apply another layer to give it a darker finish, you could do that as well. I love the really deep color, so I put a couple coats on. After the stain was dry, I went ahead and measured the length of the side and the width so that I could get a center placement for the handle. So the sides are 22 inches and the width of them is 3.5 inches. So I got the middle at 11 inches and 1.75, and then I went ahead and screwed in the handle on each side. Then I moved over to Romeo. Since I was doing a really large cut this time, my design was about 14 by 18, I believe, and I needed Romeo to help me cut that. I'm cutting without a mat, but this process that I'm about to do saved me so much wasted material. I'm just putting it into the machine and I'm using an area test, and when you do that, you can see exactly where the cut is going to go. So I go to my computer, click area test, and check out what happens. I didn't realize that my design had been set up to cut sideways, and you can see it is completely off the material. It went all the way to the right. I would have wasted so much vinyl and been so irritated. So I shifted the design on my computer, went back and did an area test, and I also noticed that my rollers were not quite in place. So the area test saved me in multiple ways without wasting material this time around. So I got it, made sure that it was on the grip rollers, on the rollers in the right place, went back to my computer, and then did another area test. And this time we were good to go. Whew, I'm so glad I did not waste all that material from the beginning. I was able to send it to cut again. We got everything cut out just as it's supposed to be, and then we're ready to weed. This was a very detailed design, but since I'm using Caesar Easy Weed, it did weed very nicely, and I love how it's going to turn out. I wanted a kitchen design, I wanted our name, and I think it's going to be perfect. Here's where I ran into a little bit of an issue. I was using the my heat press to iron this design on, and for some reason, all the parts were not really sticking like they normally do. I have never had an issue with ironing on HTV onto wood, but I think that maybe the poly, because the stain that I used was a stain and poly in one, and I have a feeling that it was preventing the HTV from sticking as easily as it normally does. So I had to go really slowly to get this design to stick and make sure that all of the spaces were pressed down. And then after I ended up pressing it all on, I even had the transfer tape off and used a Teflon sheet and stuck that on and just went over it one more time. You can see even up in the top left corner, that part is not even pressed on. I just got it to release from the transfer paper just so I could get it off from the backing. And then I used the Teflon sheet, put it on top, and then it did stay on. But it was a little bit challenging to get it to stay on. So I recommend using stain that does not have the poly mixed in with it. When you purchase it, just get the stain by itself, and then I think you'll have more success. And you can cover this with Maker's Magic or Mod Podge. To be honest, I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. Right now, I think I'm just going to leave it, but I might change my mind later. Here is my finished product. I love it so much. I think the wood is perfect for our kitchen. I love how the name stands out. I love how perfect the HTV looks, and it matches my overhead fan as well. I just think it's perfect. So here is the finished product. I love it so much. It's totally what I was thinking and had in mind. I cannot wait to have this on my stove. I just think it's gonna just take that clean kitchen look up to the next notch. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and like, subscribe, share, or turn on the notifications because I'm going to be live every single day this week. It is National Crafting Month. I've been going live every day at 10 a.m. Pacific time, so you can catch me tomorrow. We've got some more fun projects this week coming up, and I hope to see you there. Until then, stay crafty, my friends. Bye.